Another Tuesday night at the bar, just counting it, 2, 3, 4. Still drinks on a sticky floor, same faces I'd seen before. I was locked on the hi-hat groove, eyes on my sticks, don't move. Then you laughed at a joke off stage, and something shifted page by page. I wasn't looking for love, but you slipped it on me offbeat. Right between the crash and the kick, you knocked me off my front seat. You were singing every word, like the song was all about us. I wasn't looking for love, but the backbeat in my heart said trust. You were pressed to the front by the amps, old band tee, cut off pants, hair pulled up with a borrowed tie, ink on your wrist still drying. You kept missing your cue to cheer, just staring at me back here. I dropped the stick, you saw me curse. You laughed so hard it broke my nerves. I wasn't looking for love, but you slipped it on me offbeat. Right between the crash and the kick, you knocked me off my front seat. You were singing every word, like the song was always about us. I wasn't looking for love, but the backbeat in my heart said trust. Now it's coffee at noon, late shows at night, and tracing rhythms on my arm at the light. Oh yeah, all the songs that were just noise before, now I hear you in every chord. I never planned, I never tried, you just walked in and rewrote my time. I wasn't looking for love, but you slipped in on me offbeat. Right between the crash and the kick, you knocked me off my front seat. You were singing every word, like the song was always about us. I wasn't looking for love, but the backbeat in my heart said us. It's 12 a.m. and the screen glows blue. Caesar leans back, says hopes for fools. Clementine laughs, scribbles in her notes. Tell me then, why do you still show up? Red flags and roses, you say it always closes. Every story, same old end, but I still believe in beginnings. Red flags and roses, you call it all hypnosis, but you're here week after week, so I'll keep betting on hearts that beat. Clears his throat, says love's a trap. Patterns repeat, they just collapse. She hits pause on his favorite line, and why'd you stay till her last goodbye? Red flags and roses, you say it always closes. Every story, same old end, but I still believe in beginnings. Red flags and roses, you call it all hypnosis, but you're here week after week, so I'll keep betting on hearts that beat. says goodnight in a softer tone. Clementine smiles, see you next time. Somewhere between us a little hope climbs.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for joining us for this, special episode of Red Flags and Roses. You get yours truly, Caesar, but we have another special guest. You know, he's not just your friend; he's my friend as well. My illustrious co-host, the infamously famous HaVoC gamers. That's who's up.
Yep,
He's
I
going to
am.
be popping in a few minutes. Oh,
I,
welcome back.
I'm here. I'm trying to fix the cameras. This set was not made for cameras, and it will not let the cameras in.
Oh, yeah. He's over there doing the hard work on the back end. So allow me to give you a nice little premise of what we're going to be talking about tonight. Me and my co-host, we're going to be talking about spoiling our loved ones, if it's warranted, when it's warranted, and what can I guess the viewpoint of what it entails from our own perspectives. It's going to be very interesting. We had a nice little chat about it earlier, and we're definitely going to be touching on some of those points, throughout the show. You know, hello, Queen Dana. You know, nice, hello to Queen Dana, to Jen. Welcome in. Thanks for popping in for this special Red Flags and Roses. But like with the spoiling, me and him had some different perspectives on that, and you know me, ladies and gentlemen, I had the different take. HaVoC, he had a very rational approach, I must admit. Really was able to explain the importance of it and how, I guess you can say, the real important, what's really important about when you spoil that special someone that you love in life. So I really can't wait to get into that part because, like I said, he really explained it well. And there's some parts that I do agree with him on, and like I said, I just have that warped perspective. Hmm. Yeah, because for little old me, yeah, I have I guess you could say the paranoid side of spoiling, where you go all out, and then once you decide to, step it back a little bit, that woman gets paranoid and worried, and to me, it's like it becomes a given instead of a welcome surprise. That's really the two poles of both sides. My co-host has that more rational approach. Me, I have the paranoid schizophrenic approach, where it's like, yeah, I can do that, but then I have like 1,000 scenarios running through my head of why it's a negative and why I just don't want to do it. But who knows? I might get my mind changed, ladies and gentlemen. You never really know. I hear a rational argument, hard for me to disagree. I can think, you know, I can understand what somebody else, where they're coming from. and admit where I have the more irrational approach. That's the beautiful thing about life, ladies and gentlemen. As individuals, we can dare to take that stupidity beyond the realm of reason. I know I have.
Did you say
Huh?
that you agreed with me on something?
There are some things that it makes sense, and the way you put it, yeah, you would think that would be the ideal, but from my perspective, through that distorted, you know, bottom of the Coke glass bottle,
Mhm.
it's yeah, I had that more paranoid schizophrenic approach. Whereas like, yeah, I put in the effort, and then when I want to dial it back, or something happens to where financially I'm not able to continue on with those obligations, it's just like I expect the worst.
Well, and so everybody knows what's going on. This set was not OBS on my end is acting like completely dumb. It's not letting me move anything or set anything. So Caesar does have his camera on in Discord, but I can't move him over
Mm.
at all.
Technology these days.
Yeah, well, no, I tried adjusting like you're, yeah, see, and like I can get half of you.
I noticed that when I glanced down at the screen, where it was like you see part of me like a little zoomed in, and then the other half is black.
Yep,
Like
and
it's just cut off.
yep, I can't move it to fix it. So we will be sticking with.
Sticking with this layout.
Yep. Everybody gets to look at my ugly ass and your cartoon.
That's just how it works.
Mm. I'm gonna get fined for saying this, but why does it feel like I'm back with managing Vixie now?
My avatar ain't that fancy, bro. It's not moving around. I have no jiggle physics.
Yeah, just because I ought to program jiggle physics into your forehead.
Let's not pretend we did.
Let's do it and pretend we
I like
didn't.
that. No, pretend we did. We allow it to look funny in our imaginations. If we actually do it and put it out there, we might be like,
Yeah, but then we can blame Jen.
That does sound fun.
Changed the whole situation, didn't it?
It does.
Yeah.
It does, because it's like I hear that, I'm like, maybe I can bear with having jiggle physics on my forehead.
Yeah.
It might be a possibility.
Make your ears jiggle or something. I don't know. It'd be Jen's fault entirely. Because she came up with that damn wiggle shit. So, we'll just blame her in that.
I'm surprised you didn't like, my dragon idea. Or a background having the dragon and the pickle, the pickle flying on the back of it.
Why? Yeah, at that point, I kind of shut you down a little bit because it's like, oh, it's a little weird.
I just went too far.
Yeah.
Too far left field. And he's like, okay, I gotta dial you out for a minute because no more mental images.
Yeah. So here's the thing. We had a meeting, right? And when we get done, something came up about spoiling. Initially just women, right? And
yes.
For those that don't know, Caesar is so opposed to it. It's like, you ain't getting shit, honey. Because you're lucky you have my time.
Exactly. That's the approach I take.
Right. And I know you can't see him because this guy's avatar here, but he's in the Discord going, So And I completely disagree with you. Now, I take another extreme, and I can see why people wouldn't agree with me. But I'm the type that would say, spoil them so much that no one else wants them, and they don't want anyone else. To go.
Mm-hmm.
Problem solved.
Or a whole new problem arises.
What you think is a problem, but go on. I'm listening.
Every time you do it, you got to kind of raise the bar a little bit. You know what I mean? You can't just stick
No.
with what works. You got to raise that bar up the
No.
level.
No.
Yeah.
No.
But women find that to be stale, don't you think? When it's like not the same old, but it's like where they can almost, tell the time of the week by spoiling gesture that you offer.
So you just don't offer the same thing. It doesn't mean you've got to go more. I mean, not offer like the same thing. Like, if you buy one kind of chocolate, and you're buying it every Wednesday,
Mm-hmm.
just send her some flowers instead. I don't.
But see, then it becomes a combination of chocolates and flowers. And
Okay.
then once that starts getting stale, then it becomes a combination of chocolates, flowers, and maybe an expensive outing, or maybe not even just an expensive
or
outing,
a
just
red
an outing to
wine.
go somewhere.
Or a red wine.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And then you
See,
get stuck with having to get
you're-
chocolates, flowers, an
you're
outing,
slow.
and a thing of red wine.
You're already
And then
slow.
you got to up the red wine.
Hmm.
What are you going to top the red wine with?
Well, I don't know, but I'll think a polar bear.
Hmm. Then after the polar bear, what's the next exotic animal you're going to get her?
Snorlax.
Or would you go? I believe the audience might be, catching the gist of what I'm saying is you got to top yourself each time. It's not just a simple act of the unsolicited gift.
Well, apparently it's not that hard.
Surprise. Well, of course it's not hard. It's just when you have to start building off of that, expanding the range, so to speak.
I don't see the problem with telling a young lady that they're special and that they should be treated special. I don't see a problem with that.
To me, it's like, an ego inflator. Like if you're like whipped, wrapped around their finger, just another hole in their purse strap.
Do you think that women really look at men that way? Or the majority of them? I like I said before, I know there are always going to be outliers that do look at it that
I do
that
agree
way.
with that. Mm-hmm. I do agree with that, but for my extremes, yeah, I do. I really do.
So tell me how you figure it's that way.
That personal experience. And then when you combine the personal experience with polling data, watching interviews, just random street interviews with random couples, and sometimes how those can go south really quick. It really, for me, shed some light on the situation.
So we're using TikTok as dating data?
Not TikTok. The videos on YouTube. People that put the time in to walk the streets, interview people. Sometimes those videos can go maybe an hour long, if not longer, if they're really getting the people going, wanting to be interviewed.
That's right. See, there you go. They want to be interviewed. So how do you get interviewed in that situation? You've got to come up with something extreme.
Got to be you got to be the extreme. But there's some times where, to me, some of them, they can be believable. Where it's like, damn, like holy shit, like that man or woman got got hoodwinked. They got swerved by their significant other. And with the time, money, energy, and all the little things in between that just in an instant goes up in a puff of smoke.
But see, no one's following them after these interviews.
True.
So we
That's
can't
just
say they could walk around the corner and start laughing at each other, dap each other up, and be like, "God, that was funny." Because I can tell you a couple that would do such shit like that. It would be Goose and Said Panda. If they saw it and they decided they were going to do it, they would go fuck with them, and then walk off and then laugh. And probably circle around and try to do it again. So, you know,
that's
what research?
understandable.
You said research
Believable.
was done. What kind of research? I'm not asking you to cite the actual research, but there actually has been research on this, that women look at us as another hole in their person.
Yes, not to those exact words that I just came up with off the fly. It more of just like I said, the data of how with women when they, I guess when the man starts either dialing things back or they're no longer able to go to those leaps and bounds in the way they spoil them, it dries up the Sahara Desert, in other words, makes them less inclined to want to be with them. Because at the end of the day, when you get into a relationship, it's all about, with both parties involved, what do you bring to the table? That's what it really boils down to, especially the older you get. That's what it really comes down to.
Don't think so.
What do you bring to the table?
Don't think so. Well, it's what you bring to the table, but it's not what you're implying. You're implying, financial means. And I'm never going to say finances are not a part of the discussion, because they are. But that's not.
They are.
I don't even think that's a main issue of what goes on, what's being brought to the table at the start of dating. When you're dating a girl, do you ask her how much she makes a year?
No, that's generally like, 2 or 3 dates in.
You ask them how much they make a year.
Yes.
Why?
So I can gauge how less likely the relationship will work out.
It's such a pessimistic approach.
I know. I'm glad you saw that quality in me. I've been really trying to get that out to the audience. Thank you for pointing it out.
Well, see, here's the thing, though. It's not going to work if you're looking for it not to work. You know that, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, I do.
So if you're looking for it not to work and it doesn't work, then you're not surprised. Why did you start dating in the first place? Why do you even care what she's making? Because you're looking for the reason that it will end.
Exactly. It's being preemptive. Not getting my hopes up, but staying realistic.
So you self-sabotage.
Damn, Skippy.
How does that make sense? Why would you do that?
Because I'm not sure if you know this. I'm a bit emotional.
Just a
Can
bit.
you mean?
Just a bit.
Tiny little bit.
Tiny little bit.
Yeah, it's minuscule in the grander scheme of things.
Okay, so do you think then that the problems that you're facing or what you're seeing and you're using, in your observations, that it's not just, you?
I've taken that into consideration, looking at myself as the problem. More than likely it is. I guess you can say I haven't reached that moment of clarity where I'm willing to admit to myself. It's like I can talk about it all day, but in the back of my head, it's like, nope, it's their fault. Hmm.
So there's a little bit of narcissism there that you need to take care of.
Probably. I like to think of it as like being egotistical, but
Mhm.
I accept that. Could be a little bit narcissistic.
Well, egotistical is narcissism.
Could be. But I like to think of it as different. Maybe it's that like stereotypical form of narcissism that we, seen growing up, like with the narcissist, like all focused on his body and like in himself type of shit. You know what I mean?
Right.
And no, I get
But
that,
isn't
but
isn't
I
that
just
focus?
like to use ego.
But the thing is, with the ego that you're presenting here, isn't that focusing on you?
I can see why you would think that, but my perspective is I am giving the audience the insight to how Caesar thinks, how he gets to the conclusions that he gets to.
Okay, but okay. Well, if you're doing that, then you're pointing to the narcissism. Because what I'm talking about, what I'm talking about is not you and your explanation. What I'm talking about is like how you're going on. It's like, I'm looking for my downfall right away. It's something to do with them. It's not me. And you explained it, what I mean, back of your head, but that's still a form of narcissism, right? Do you think that the problem might be that the reason that you're coming to these conclusions is because you've put so much attention on yourself and you forgot to put attention on the other person at all? Is that a possibility?
I mean, perhaps it's a possibility. I can admit that it is a possibility, but from my perspective, it's a primitive defense mechanism. Because if I'm able to reject first, or at least get rejected early on, there's no loss. There's no.
No, there's plenty of loss. You just.
How so?
Okay. If you're trying to get yourself rejected, early, right? Or putting into it early. Even if it doesn't work out, look at all the things you missed out on. All the feelings, all the experiences, the conversations, the ideas shared, the memories, the moments, all those things are important. And you're saying nothing lost. There's a great deal of life in between those lines that you're missing.
Perhaps, but there's no. I guess to me it comes to the point where, that old saying with a tree falling in the forest, like you don't have to see the tree to hear it fall, type of thing.
Right.
It's like that. For myself, you could look at the relationship as a tree, okay? And I find the tree.
Mm-hmm.
Now, do I want to put in the time to trim the tree? Make sure its roots are fed? All that stuff. If there's a fleeting moment of rejection, for myself, no. Like I can't do that. And I disagree with you about it being the narcissism.
Mm-hmm.
Like I said to myself, it's just a defense mechanism.
Okay.
Because rejection's hard. Rejection's hard.
Yeah, I agree with you. It can be. It's devastating for most people. It's what stops people from doing a lot of things that they want to do. Fear is a damning part of our lives.
It is.
Fear stops us from making sure we're happy 90% of the time. Most of the time, if we're miserable, it's because we were afraid of something and didn't do it. So
could be a possibility.
No, could be. Is. How many things that you would have loved to have done that you didn't, though, because there was something that you were afraid of?
Well, there's plenty of things that I wanted to do that I couldn't because of outside circumstances.
Okay. Well,
For example,
Go ahead.
I wanted to play high school football,
Mm-hmm.
but because I wasn't the brightest bulb in the box, I didn't have the right grade, so I couldn't play. I worked my hardest to try to get my grades up, just didn't happen.
Mm-hmm.
I couldn't do something I wanted to do,
Mm-hmm.
because of what somebody else said. And then circumstances like that where you want to do something but there's outside influences that prevent you from being able to do it. Things like that combined, those past experiences, when you combine it with the stuff that happens in the past rejections, whether it's like you put the time in, but then they're not what they portrayed themselves to be, type of thing. Some would say it's like losing hope, but for the way I see it, is it's not meant for everybody, myself included. You know, sometimes it's better not to put yourself in those positions of failure. Better to avoid them.
So you know what the secret to success is, right?
I've heard that it's failing and continuing, but I've had different results.
Because you quit failing.
Well, yeah, because failing gets old, demoralizing, makes you question: is there something wrong with you? Like me,
Okay.
is there something wrong with me? So avoiding failure and sticking with things that you can do, that you can accomplish, makes things a bit easier.
Mm. I don't know if easier is the word I would use. Because okay, even if it is easier, well, like I said, how much life are you leaving between the lines there?
Well, I probably left a lot. I probably left a lot. But when you don't think about the what ifs, it gets easy, because those are the worst things in life to deal with, are those what ifs.
Yeah. And how do you lay down at night and not deal with them then? Because there's still a what if I had done it?
Not in my mind. I
Mm.
don't. I don't think about those things. I avoid it.
I would rather deal with consequences than the what ifs of why didn't I do that?
Sometimes those consequences, they can cost you something.
So,
That's why, I'd rather just avoid the whole failure thing to begin with and do my own thing.
and oh, okay. So, what if one of the women that, that your stance of, I'd rather be rejected, get it over with quicker. What if one of those women, if you hadn't done that, would have been the love of your life and your entire world would have been flipped around?
That's a what if that I don't ponder.
Well, I'm asking you to now.
Oh, you want me to go down that road?
Yes.
Look, this is what I got to deal with, ladies and gentlemen. I love my co-host. Always asking those insightful questions.
Well,
I guess you can say, if
no, I'm trying to figure out where you're coming from. At least I'm being honest and fair about it. I'm not saying,
No, I
you're an
understand
idiot
that.
and stuff like that. I'm asking. I want to know how you've come to this.
Like I said, from past experiences, my own failures in life, and when you have so much failure, more failures than successes. For myself, I found a different route.
Avoidance.
Exactly. I avoid the failures and have the cheap successes.
So it's almost like an
simple
anxiety
ones.
disorder.
It could be. It very well could be. But I don't hyperventilate. I don't get sweaty palms. Like, maybe it's just all in my head where I overthink shit, and that's where my anxiety comes from, because it's like
Mhm.
I'm got like 1,000 scenarios going on in my head at once.
You know, that's anxiety. Overthinking is a form of anxiety.
I just thought it was a sign of me being smart.
No, it's not mental illness.
Can we get a second opinion on that?
You certainly can. You can get Dr. Dr. Princess Divine in here. I'm certain she's going to say the same thing. But
Maybe somebody outside of the coverage network.
someone not in the asylum, huh? Yeah. No. I mean, you say I've failed so many times I haven't succeeded. Well, what if you're just one more failure away from success?
Man, that probably would have been, many moons ago. Many moons ago.
So, in the search of happiness and meaning, and I'll say this: success in terms of biological science, right? And so, just so it's clear, success in biological science is offspring. Okay, it's replacing yourself. So, just you would let all that go because someone might say no. Does that?
It's not the possibility of the might, it's that it's happened so many times where I don't even care anymore. Like, because, there was a time where I would think, like, man, it'd be cool to have a little me, have a son, have a daughter, maybe both.
Mm-hmm.
But the older you get, the availability of that being able to happen shrinks, from my experience.
Well, it does.
No, it's and so I guess to save myself the feeling sad and miserable about it, I did what Peter Parker did with the Spider-Man suit. Just threw it away. Walked away. Turned my back on it.
But the thing is, you can't.
Yep. But I did.
You have not. I can prove it.
How so?
Marley.
Marley was someone that I believe I said it on the stream. If not, forgive me. But with Marley, it was, getting to know her as a friend, talking to her.
Not.
But with her.
Go ahead.
Go ahead.
No. No. Well, I was going to say with Marley, even okay. So, but what about if Marley had rejected you as a friend?
It would have stung a little bit, to be honest with you. Her rejecting me, Mr. LLC, my friendship, my benevolence. It would have shook me, but not like, bad. I would have, brushed it off. But even something little like that, it's just like,
That doesn't make sense though, and so, and your whole, the, I'm going to think I might be going through a midlife crisis. So and we did the IRL where we sent you out, looking for love. You were the one that came to me with this saying, you know what? I don't think I like being by myself anymore. Right?
I know.
And you,
I'm wishy-washy like that.
Yeah. And granted, you were going through personal things at the moment of clarity instead of fogginess. It was the oh shit, everything I wanted I've been pushing away. So now I will go out and get it. And then you did, and it didn't work out the way
Failed.
you wanted. There,
Failed.
see, I would say it didn't work out the way you wanted to because this was a couple hours, right? And
It was a failure on my part,
okay.
and because of that failure, it's just
So then it's just throw it all away.
well, it reinforces what I think in my head. It that experience in my mind reinforces like, why did I even suggest that? Why did I let that moment of what I was going through influence me in that way to where I got like kind of primitive, thinking biologically.
Your instincts aren't primitive. They're there because they're what makes you who you are.
Mm-hmm.
Right? So you're human male, and your biology that causes your instincts helps to define you, and yet you deny those things. So you would rather go without definition. You would rather go without a sense of purpose, or that at least most men seem to have through their instincts. Projections that tough? I'm not.
It can be. No, I understand. You're trying to understand my point of view, how I ended up with this thought process. No, I understand that. I know you're not trying to.
Right. I'm not trying to put you in a corner.
You're exactly. You're just trying to understand me better. I guess you can say when you failed so many times in life, you come close and you fail. You dust yourself off. You try again. You might fall in between there, but you keep getting up. Then you get close again. Then you fail. Rinse and repeat. To me, it got demoralizing. Got old. Made me tired. Made me want to be like, you know what? Fuck this shit. I'm just going to do my own thing. And that's how I ended up where I ended up.
So you don't see the value in having, I guess, a woman friend, and I will say this because you do have one that's been, outside of Clementine. I'm not saying she's your girlfriend. That you're willing to set that part of who you are as a man aside because you don't want to go through what you consider failure anymore. This is what I'm hearing.
Exactly. That part of me, I buried alive in a pine box.
Here's the thing. That's a misnomer. You have fooled yourself into thinking that.
Mm-hmm.
That you can't. You can't deny who you are, bro. And everybody wants to be accepted. Everybody wants to be loved. Everybody wants to be cared about. You're no different, man. It's okay.
I understand that. But it's to the point where learning to settle.
You said you had to settle.
That's what I did. No, that's what I did. I decided to settle.
Mm-hmm.
And what I mean by settle, where I've accepted in my mind, like this is the road I'm going down. There's no miracle on 34th Street with this one, because I could have had that, but I made sure to burn that bridge. Because
so once again, you're self-sabotaging.
Even then, if she was to have, liked me, you know, the idea of failure, the idea of putting that time in and then it just failing is too much for me.
But once
It
again,
became too much.
that time that you're putting in, you're getting far more, even at failure, than
No, but
you're
it can
putting
hurt
in. Okay.
because,
Does it not hurt
like,
to
when
be
you
a?
brought up conversations,
Okay.
you can have talks with your significant other,
Mm-hmm.
but then things go south, right?
Mm-hmm.
What happens? Sometimes we think about those things, and it can hurt of
Mm-hmm.
what we once had. So to spare me I don't want to say agony, but just the trifle BS that's associated with it, just drown them out. Deny them the air to breathe. That's what I did with those thoughts.
Hello, Queen Dana. Welcome back.
Welcome back, Queen Dana.
But so, I don't know. I don't think it's as cut and dry as you're trying to make it. I think you're suffering. This is just my personal opinion, not a professional. I think you suffer far more, and you're willing to accept that suffering just because it's not an open failure.
Exactly. You
And
hit the nail right on the head.
And you're trying to make the failure not look like a failure, but rather a choice.
Yes. In my mind, it is a choice. Because I chose to cut myself out of the equation. If those, I've had offers in the past, but I always just kept going my own way.
Why? Is it because you're afraid that in the future it's going to end?
Mm-hmm. The future's uncertain. It's unwritten.
Exactly. But if
And
you
they
know,
have
but if you
they
know
have minds like we do.
right. But the thing is, if you know you're unhappy, why are you choosing to stick with it?
Because it's a level of unhappiness that I've been able to numb myself to, where you can almost think of it. You get to that point where you're tired. Like I said, like I'm tired of the failure. I'm tired of things not working out. So I just checked out, stepped back, and went my own way. Is it the how can I put this? Because even though it's a self-inflicted misery at this point,
Mm-hmm.
by doing what I'm doing, it is, in my mind, minuscule to what would hurt me more. If that makes sense. It's like if you had the choice, would you rather get a paper cut or cut with a knife? You know what I mean? It's like, I'd rather take the paper cut. And to me, the paper cut is just staying to myself.
Okay. But if you okay, you're saying okay, I'm going to take the paper cut, or I'm going to take a cut from the knife. What's the reward for both? I'm going to take the paper cut for nothing, or I'll take the cut from the knife for memories I'll have forever. So which?
But
do you
memories
take?
can be bittersweet.
Oh.
Because there's some memories I wish I didn't have. There really is. There's memories I wish that I can just, pluck out of my head
We all do.
and completely forget about them.
We all
And
do.
so
welcome to human
to keep that,
to the human experience, bro. Go ahead.
I can agree with you on that. Definitely, I'm not trying to sound like Like it's like only like I'm the only one going through this. No, I completely agree with that statement. For myself, it just became more important. Preserving what happiness I have left. You know, enjoying just enjoying what happiness I have left.
So settling, you equate settling to happiness. I've got a little bit of peace, and because I've got a little bit of peace,
Hmm.
that
That little
little bit of peace of mind, right?
hmm
All the happiness in the world is not worth that little piece of mind.
exactly. Exactly.
I'm going to be honest with you, bro. That boggles me. I don't get it.
I know you're familiar with this expression. One in the hand is worth more than two in the bush.
Mm-hmm.
That little bit of happiness is the one thing in my hand. A relationship, the possibility of increasing my happiness value, that's the two in the bush. So I rather hold on to what I got than take a chance losing what I have and not getting what's in the bush.
What do you really lose in this situation? What do you really lose?
Okay. Like I said, like, for myself at this point in my life, let's say I was tried again, talk to a woman, go on a few dates, and maybe something sparks, okay? And for it to have it crumble, whether it is because of, I don't want to try to pin it on one or the other, but just for the sake of argument that the relationship fails.
Mm-hmm.
To me, that is wasted time. That is memories that I wouldn't want to have in my head anymore
So
because I would miss it. I would miss that, and having those memories would make it harder
okay, but let me
because the
ask
ones
you.
that I have now, they're. I'm not trying to say like they're impossible to deal with, but you know, it can hurt.
Okay, so why does it hurt though? Why do you miss them?
This one is a little different. Like with the memories that I hold is for a woman I had a crush on when I was in school.
Hmm.
I used to hang out with her, stuff like that, and
So we're going way back.
nothing ever amounted beyond a friendship. It was like because of my braggadocious attitude in my younger years, I think it turned her off.
No, really?
But she unfortunately passed away, so it's like there's
Mhm.
no way to, you know, try to patch things up to try again.
Okay.
Take the more mature approach.
Okay.
And yeah, man, I think you might remember when we were talking one time, and it was like those Hollywood moments,
Mm-hmm.
like when the guy meets the girl. Like for me, that was with her. That was the one time I ever had a Hollywood moment when I, you know, seen a woman I liked. Where like
Right.
when I seen her, it was like shit slowed down.
Mm-hmm.
No, like I know it sounds like an exaggeration, but for me, it's not. Like shit slowed down.
Oh
I
yeah.
couldn't hear my friend talking, and I seen her, and it's just like, oh my god, like the most beautiful woman I've ever seen. Like I want to get to know her, and I did. I did. But
Okay.
as far as dating, nothing ever amounted to it because, like I said, my
So,
just
but
how I was in my younger years. And so after those points, I ended up getting married.
Mm-hmm.
And that marriage was the worst mistake of my life. Really was. Really put me for me, it wasn't like there was any kind of cheating involved by either party,
Mm-hmm.
by my ex or by me. It was more of I couldn't deal with her all the shit, her stubbornness,
Mm-hmm.
the like the way she'd always want to throw up in my face, like, "Oh, you're acting like my ex right now." It's like I'm not your ex. Like fucking just yesterday, you telling me of like how great of a husband I am, and because of this one little thing, now you want to berate me saying I'm acting like your ex. It's like, well, like I unfortunately I can't mention that, but it's like really now you want to compare me to your ex on like night and day difference. I'm not trying to say I was an angel or anything, but
Right.
if what she told me was true about her ex, then it's just like really the things that you told me about. Hmm. So it's like with years of that built up and like, and then even after when we parted ways, I tried to get back out there in the dating scene.
Right.
Hmm. It was rough out there, and so I gave up. I got tired, and memories became bittersweet for me. Because like I said, there's some memories I wish I can just take right out,
But would you?
forget.
Would you really?
I would.
You would give those up?
If I could. I would.
Hmm.
If I can do it all over again, or should I mean, that's cliche. Everybody can say that, they can do it over again, they do it differently. But if I was able to have those memories taken out,
Mm-hmm.
I would. I would.
Mm.
Because that what if game, playing what if with yourself, it gets damaging psychologically.
Yeah, but I think you're playing more what ifs than not. And so, Mr. Host, we're at the 2-minute point.
Sounds like it's time for that break.
Yeah.
We'll be back after this 2 minutes. Stay tuned.
Hearts are rusted, chain locked tight in the abyss. Souls are shattered, mirror, every shot screams miss. Concrete veins pumping cold through the mist. Breath tastes of tombstones, death blows a kiss. Every corner's dark, no candles, just black. Hopes a ghost I chase, now it's laughing in the back. Fingers grip the void, pulling nothing but cracks. World's a painted smile, I'm the smear in the tracks. Dead inside, can't hide, I'm hollow. Screaming at the sun, but the light won't follow. No escape, just a shadow to swallow. Dead inside, just a ghost on borrowed tomorrows. Eyes burn red, suck it's dry as drought. Tears traded for the ink, but the pen ran out. Face a broken bridge, can't walk that route. Prayers turn to echo, silence drowns the shout. Every night's a battle with the weight of the pitch. Dreams sold for pennies, nightmares getting rich. Minds of crooked preachers, spitting venom in the ditch. Hearts a frozen clock, no tick, no twitch. Dead inside, can't hide, I'm hollow. Screaming at the sun, but the light won't follow. No escape, just a shadow to swallow. Dead inside, just a ghost on borrowed tomorrows.
lips touch mine, I lose all space and time. Like the world goes quiet just to hear our hearts beat a line. And your hands, they trace me like you've known me before, like 1,000 lifetimes knocking at my door. Every broken piece in me, you gather gently piece by piece, like love was never lost, just waiting to be found. You fill me up with something deeper than the ocean, a love that pulls me under but keeps me floating. You give me wings, I'm higher than the mountains above. My heart is overflowing with the echo of your love. And I don't need the stars when I'm in your light. You're the reason my spirit sings at night. You don't just love me, you make me who I am. With every touch I understand. With every touch I understand. There's a fire in your presence, but it feels like home. Like I've wandered all my life just to not be alone. And every breath you give me feels like second chances, like destiny itself chose this romance. You don't just see me as I am, you see the woman I could be. And somehow you make it real just by loving me. You fill me up with something deeper than the ocean, a love that pulls me under, keeps me floating. You give me wings, I'm higher than the mountains above. My heart is overflowing with the echo of your love. And I don't need the stars when I'm in your light. You're the reason my spirit sings at night. You don't just love me, you make me who I am. With every touch I understand. You didn't just find me, you felt me, like my soul had been calling your name before my lips ever could. You love me, not in pieces, but in fullness. And somehow that made me whole. You fill me up with something deeper than the ocean, a love that feels like truth and pure devotion. You gave me wings when I forgot how to rise. Now I see forever every time I look in your eyes. And if the world fades out, I'll still be alright, as long as I'm wrapped in your light. You don't just love me, you make me believe I am everything I'm meant to be. When your lips touch mine, time don't matter anymore. It's just us and a love worth living for.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. And yeah, we got a nice little special play of Dana's lovely poem, right? Not a song, it's a poem.
Yep. It's one of her poems put to
Oh, it's
music.
beautiful.
It is.
Beautiful.
It is. Absolutely. The first song that was played, it started before I could stop it. It's called Hollow Days, and I wrote it. Well, I finished it 4 hours before I received a message on X that was memorable to me. So yeah.
Beautiful.
Yep, you can learn something from it. It's about giving up hope and feeling dead inside. Yep, 24 hours later, everything turned. So here's the thing. Okay, you've presented all the negatives and stuff like that.
Yes.
So
I believe I covered the negatives very extensively. So I think it'd be a good part to where you
right,
really put out those positives.
okay. The song or the poem that Dana wrote, she had told me it was inspired by the way I made her feel in real life.
Mm-hmm.
When you listen to that song, tell me you can't feel it brings something inside of you up. That it doesn't inspire you somehow to make you want.
I feel something, yes. Inspired, no.
But
I get the feeling part.
Mm-hmm.
It does. It can tug at the heartstrings.
Okay. And then, from someone in my position, from one guy to another, I am not eloquent like Dana is. Okay. But to have someone that just wants your time, that just wants your care, that just wants your concern and your love, and that's all they're asking from you. And they're willing to give you the world back for that little bit that you're giving them. And then it just makes you want to do so much more. So we're going to loop back into the spoiling. When it becomes a perfect circle like that, I would go through I would go through multiple lifetimes of failures of eating shit sandwiches every meal to have what I have for 5 minutes. And then live with the regret afterwards. I think you're doing yourself a disservice by shutting yourself off the way you have. And that's saying that as your friend, bro. That's not this YouTube shit and everything else. That's dude to dude. Because let me tell you, your life will change entirely. And when you was talking about time standing still, okay, I want you to think about, okay, I'm no spring chicken, right?
Mm-hmm.
When I told Dana I loved her, before she said I love you too, right? There was this space in time. And I imagine it was probably like 45 seconds, but I'm certain it was 450 years. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
Because I lived for eternity between me saying something and her saying something. Right? So I get the Hollywood moment where time slows down and stuff like that. And that's nice and all. It's great because those are powerful memories. Those are powerful emotions. I personally believe when God slows things down like that, it's him giving you a gift. It's him letting you experience it. Letting it slow down for just a little bit so that you can enjoy it. I've always thought those little moments like that were gifts from God. Okay. Like I said, I just think you're doing such a disservice to yourself to say, I'll kill it before it starts. Think of all, yes, I get the pain. I get it hurts. Like I said, I wrote a song about, feeling so dark inside that, the sun couldn't even get to you. Right? Listen to the lyrics of that song sometimes. I'm just living on borrowed tomorrows. That's how I felt. I get it. I know what it's like. failure, rejection, all that shit sucks ass.
It does indeed. It gets old quick. And for me, I understand where you're coming from completely, where where you're saying I'm doing a disservice to myself by shutting myself off. But the way I see it for me is that I'm sparing myself the heartache, the BS, all the stuff that's associated with that.
But how do you know it's going
Like
to
I
end
said,
that
it
way?
gets old. I assume it's going to end that way in my mind because just part of the way I think. That I'm not going to be enough. I'm never going to amount to being enough. And so I would rather sabotage it in the beginning to spare myself what I believe is going to happen in the future.
So you just set yourself up to lose. Tell me.
That's
how that
one
makes
way of
sense.
putting it, but I wouldn't.
You're setting yourself up for the failure you're afraid of.
To me, I'm avoiding. I'm avoiding that failure, the
You're
possibility of it.
And you're also avoiding happiness. At the same time,
It's been so long.
if you
for
have to
me,
say I'm avoiding,
happiness.
if you say I'm avoiding the failure, then you're avoiding happiness at the same time, because it's a two-sided coin.
Fair point. I get that. It's always gonna, for myself, it's always gonna come back to that avoiding,
So what happens?
sabotaging it to where it never happens, so I never have to experience that. Am I denying myself happiness? I very well could be.
There's no very well.
I disagree, but it's to me, I'm having, like, obviously, I have a different perspective of it. It's more of trying to save what little sanity I have left. That's what it boils down to for me.
At the risk of being the happiest you've ever been. That little bit of sanity worth the potential of the happiest you've ever been? Are you willing to say the happiest you've ever been can fuck off because I've got that little piece of sanity?
It is, because I have it. It goes back to the one in the hand, two in the bush thing for myself. It's like I have that.
What happens when it slips away?
I have nobody to blame but myself at that point.
That's really the game. That's really a chance you're willing to take. I would be more afraid of that than a failure.
I don't know. I guess you can say for me, not trying to have a pissing contest about it, but
I know.
like I just had a lot of failure, and it's tiring. It's a weight that I don't want to have to carry around. So yeah, I avoid it. Self-sabotage. I like I said, there was a point where I used to get approached. Believe it or not, there really was.
Back when you
But
had hair? I'm
that
teasing going.
actually, no. I Even with my chrome dome, I was still getting approached sometimes here and there. It wasn't like when I actually had hair.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that was a different story. But it's like I could be approached, and the first thing that comes to mind is I don't want to go down that road. I don't want to put myself out there in that way. Like I said, I really lost all desire. Actually thinking like, oh yeah, I can meet, you know, our future gal Friday any day. I can do this, I can do that. Like it's all gone. Like I said, I actually buried that hope alive in a pine box
Mm.
because I was so tired of it, the letdown, everything. And I know you understand it, but you don't understand the self sabotage thing. Like I said, it all boils down. I have what I have left, and sacrificing that for the possibility, it's just too much for me at this stage. It's like I'm older. You know what I mean? I
I
ain't
get
getting
it.
any younger,
I get it.
and it's like being set in my ways, having to like that whole thing is just like it's like it's like for me it'll feel more like a chore at this point
Hmm.
because I've gotten so used to just myself. And it's like with the spoiling thing, I've been there, done that, whether it was with like physical gifts or just stuff from the heart.
Okay.
It it's like I don't want to say I feel stupid, but part of me feels used. Where it's like wow, like I wasted good lines or like shit like that. You know what I mean?
So if it doesn't work out, it's a waste.
Yes, that's how I see it. Because it's like with the woman back in my youth,
Hmm.
in my high school days, you know, the what ifs that I had to drown out of my head when it came to her,
Hmm.
I really had to, in a sense, throw myself at a greater mistake, which led me to getting married. And
And
it
you
feels like a
can't find
waste, you
you can't,
know.
but you can't find any happiness or anything that was happy in your marriage at all. Nothing. Nothing
I
was happy.
can. No, there were happy points. More so in the beginning than towards the end. But for me, because of how it ended, it just made all that time feel like a waste. Like I could have been doing something else. I could have, you know, not that it's a possibility, but just for the sake of argument, it's like I could have went to college
Hmm.
with the time I wasted. You know, and nothing to show for it. Especially like now in my life where I'm at now, it's like we're like what I got to show, literally. You know what I mean? So it's like it always circles back. The avoidance, self sabotage,
Well, Jen would tell you that
and
you what you got to show for it is you're on YouTube with a legend.
as true as that may
It's
be,
not. Jen does
I
say
I,
that, but
I
it's
don't
not true.
I don't I don't think having you as my co-host is going to get me into a relationship. Because trust me, if I could have thought of a way for that to happen, I would have.
Well, it almost did. You almost got ended up in a relationship with Marley because of me.
Fuck, that's right. Good
You're
point.
welcome.
I'm not going to thank you for that one because I swear, if she would have had her way, like me and her would have been cybering that first day we were talking in DMs. That thing would have went fucking triple X, fucking like in a New York minute, in a Singapore second. That's what would have happened if she had her way. I was trying to go into it like a mature adult, actually let me get to know you better. Let's learn about each other because I'm more than the at the time the crazy green man that you've seen on the screen. But nope, it was I think just all lust on her side. And yeah, not wrong, but it's just like, you know, wanting to move at the speed of light.
So,
Like, when you told me about why she wanted to know my last name so fast, like, oh, see, she just wanted to take it out for a spin, bro. You know, she wanted to, have it, try it on.
right.
Fuck.
Make sure it fits.
Yeah, when you mentioned that, it was like something clicked. Like, damn. Even all the way in the beginning, it was like I said, she would have had her way. Like, yeah, the whole 9 yards.
Okay, because it
And the
matters. It matters. Let's just face it. It matters. My son, whenever he was in grade school, had a friend whose last name was Hand in Butt.
hand and butt.
Hand in Butt. It was Adam Hand in Butt. So she's probably sitting there saying, I wonder your last name. Make sure it's not Hand in Butt, because I'd hate to be called Marley Hand in Butt. Mrs. Hand in Butt, how are you doing? Or Mrs. Hand in Butt, how are you doing today? See, when we put it like that, it makes sense. Okay?
It
Now,
does make
it?
sense. It does make sense, but still, I like to think that the woman would want to take the Tom Hooker approach and demand that he change the last name because she refused to be known as Mrs. Hooker.
Nope. It matters.
Apparently, it does.
It does.
Completely overlooked. Because I'll be honest, I never heard of a song mention the name Hand and Butt before. Damn.
No. I actually went to school with a kid named Ben Dova. His last name was Dova, and they named him Benjamin.
Damn.
Parents can be cruel with the names. When I went to college with a girl, her last name was Pig, Pigge, and her first name was Ima. I shit you not.
Damn.
That was an eating disorder from birth.
Like if the marriage got broken up mid-pregnancy and the stepfather came in, like, yeah, I'm gonna name it that. Oh my god, that is.
I knew twins that one was born on Tuesday and one was born on Wednesday, so they named them Tuesday and Wednesday. I knew another set of twins named Trixie and Trinket. Dated them both at the same time.
That's convenient.
Yeah, God mode.
Mm-hmm.
Back in my younger years. Now I'm lucky to, even think I can handle one. I've got one now, and it's like, God damn it, I can't go answer the door. Long story, and you don't. We can go. Next subject.
We're supposed to be getting into
spoiling. So let's get into spoiling and not being able to go answer the door.
Spoiling.
The positives of spoiling is you're telling someone that you love them. You're wanting them to be happy. You're showing them your care. And here's the best spoiling is when you pay attention to little small details, and those are what you focus on. You let them know that you're paying attention.
Exactly. I can agree with that point where it's like with the spoiling, paying attention to those little details are important. But that also what drives it back home for me, where it's just like, hurts.
Well, see, but here's the thing. Okay, with Dana, for those who don't know, Queen Dana's, she loves football, and her favorite football team is now Las Vegas Raiders. So it was on stream. I ordered a Raiders ball cap, took off my Bears cap, and said, "This is the hardest thing a Bears fan will ever do." I made a few little jokes like, it stings, stuff like that. But, and then she asked after the stream, I hope she doesn't mind me talking about this, but she goes, "So why the Raiders?" Well, it was me sharing something with you. Just something small. You know what I mean? It doesn't have to mean anything to anyone else. But she got a laugh out of it. I hope she got a grin. You know what I mean? Some little smile like, oh, he paid attention to my favorite team. Also paid attention, that her dad liked several teams, and but he was a fan of Philly, so I can respect him. It's little things like that. And she was a daddy's girl. So it's little things like that most, people don't think you pick up on. Spoiling can be as simple as just remembering and paying attention to those little details about someone. And the reason you do it isn't to impress them later. It's because you want to know those little details about that person.
Mm-hmm.
The more you find out about them, the more you love them. And you want more. So that's one type of spoiling. And I think that's, because it's, like I said, it's you're that important to me. That's what spoiling is. It's you're that important. Out of everything in my day, like Dana could take it this way, or at least I hope this is how she'd take it. Jason wakes up and goes right to work. When Jason finishes working, he goes to bed. And those YouTube things, nothing. When you're running companies that can deal in multi-million-dollar transactions and stuff like that, that's stressful. But I picked up her favorite football team that she mentioned once. So Dana can sit there and say, my favorite football team was more important than all the shit he did that day. Him hearing about me being a daddy's girl and her dad teaching her to love football, that was more important than all the other shit. That's spoiling. Now, I can go and I can send her, and I can send her candy and flowers and wine and jewelry and all this other stuff, and that's spoiling too, because she's getting the things she wants. She knows I love her. She knows I care. I want her to have those things. She never asked for anything. All right?
Mm-hmm.
But that's me telling her you're worth this. You're worth the attention. You're worth the time. You're worth the effort. Here's the thing. If I get you a present, okay, I think about how much work I did to be able to afford it. That was my sacrifice to you. The money doesn't matter. I don't care how much it cost. I look at how much of my life I gave up, to see you smile. That's what spoiling's about. And there's no loss. If Dana at the end of the show wrote me and said, you know what, it's not going to work. We're done. It would all hurt. I would miss her tremendously because I think it for several months. I changed my sleep schedule around.
Mm-hmm.
You
most certainly have.
Right. So it's when we were figuring out schedules, the first thing I said was, "Hey guys, remember I'm up all night, and that's time I'm not going to give up." So I'm asleep in the morning because that time's the most important time I spend in the day. That's spoiling. And the thing is if it all ended, I would miss that. I wouldn't know what to do with myself. So I get the hurt. However, it's all worth the risk because every second I spend with her, I'm happy.
I hear you, and I do agree with that. Like with what you were saying, like about those little things, paying attention, being able to spoil them in that way,
Mm-hmm.
and how it sounds like for you, the memories is something that you're cherish. Put myself in your situation, you know, like if I was, chatting with somebody, doing what you and Dana do, right? And
Mm-hmm.
then things just for whatever reason go south, we break up. For me, like putting on their favorite football team, I had their favorite football team, those little things that you were mentioning, and then it ends. Thinking back, for me, it would hurt because, like you said, you miss it. You know, I would miss that too, and it goes back to the whole, self for myself, self sabotaging and
Mm-hmm.
avoiding. Because if I'm avoiding that stuff, in my mind, I am, not getting hurt. I understand your perspective where even though I may think I'm doing myself good, that I'm really not. It's just with that with that scenario that you put out, like that would hurt me and eventually like where I'm at now, where it influenced me, situations like that to where it's just like, no, I'd rather just
So if you were in the
deal with
situation,
myself.
if you were in the I'm sorry, if you were in the situation I'm in, right? You would never put
Mhm.
on that Raiders cap again if you broke up.
No,
Why?
there'd be for in my mind there'd be no need to. There'd be no point because I got the hat because that's the team they like, and I'm putting it on to show like, hey, I listen to you. I pay attention to those little things.
Right. I want to do something with you.
And
I'm willing to cheer for the Raiders with you until they
yeah,
play the Colts, and they're not.
exactly.
then we're gonna be sitting on separate sides of the room. Okay. Yeah.
hmm But it's like with stuff like that, the pain for me. I don't know. Maybe I'm too melodramatic, emotional, or whatever. But it's like shit like that hurts. And thinking about it, having those memories, it 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 brings more of a frown to my face than a smile.
Oh, if we broke up, I'd tell you exactly what I'd do. I would put that hat on and I would think about the good times. Those are
hmm
still there. It doesn't change them. And I'm sorry I had my back turned to the chat. It was over here. Caesar's over there, so I was. But Queen Dana asked, "Why expect the worst going in? Why not just live in the moment?" Valid question.
Because when you live in the moment, sometimes you can miss the forest for the trees when you're in the moment. I expect the worst going in. That's just what do as the older I've gotten. I just started expecting the worst part, maybe because of all the failure, all the, shit just not, working out how I would like it to. So I just said, the hell with it, you know, spare myself spare myself the BS and just be a nomad, so to speak.
So let's say you have a bad day. How do you handle it? Like a really bad day.
What I do when I have a real bad day is I can, to a degree, like hyper fixate on that bad part.
Mm-hmm.
Review in my head how I can avoid it, circumvent having to experience a day like that again.
Uh-huh.
Whether it's as something as trivial as avoiding, traffic in an area to having to deal with a significant other. I just hyper fixate on the negative part to where I want to find a way to avoid a situation like that from ever happening again, or make it a minimal as possible.
Do you want to know how I deal with a bad day?
How?
Because I've opened up. I go to Dana. Dana will sit there and tell me, Event, I don't care. I'm not going to judge you. Say what you want.
Yeah, but see, you have
She takes-
that. And please correct me if I'm speaking out of place or wrong, but it's like you have that confidence in Dana to where you can come to her with those things
Mm-hmm.
and know it won't be thrown up in your face, used against you later at an opportune time.
I don't know those things. I believe it wouldn't be, but there's no certainty of that. Did you think that whenever I'll get fined again. Did you think whenever I worked with Vixie, I ever thought it was going to be like that? Did you think whenever I went and promoted her ass on live and threw myself under a bus, did you think did you think that I thought she was going to take advantage of it the way she did? I didn't.
I don't think so.
I didn't. You never know until the time comes, but Dana's worth that, though. She's worth that risk to me. And contrary to what everybody believes, I said Dana. Vixie and I were not in a relationship. Dana and I are. I trusted Vixie with that stuff as a friend.
Mm-hmm.
So that aside, but then like I said, you're saying I've got that confidence in Dana. Yes, I do. But it's still always going to be at some degree at risk. Because you never know what situation might come down the pike. Now, please understand, I am not saying Dana would ever do any of these things because I don't believe she would. Ever. That's just really not in her makeup of who she is. And I know this by everything else she does. But see, yeah, I can. The thing is did I have that kind of faith in Dana in the beginning? No. Would I've went and told her certain things and vented out and all this other stuff? No. The trust and stuff, that kind of trust is developed and learned.
Yes, it is. That's something that develops over time.
Right. And I want to, so that we do clear up a few things. Dana's position in the asylum came long before her and I were ever even talking.
Mm-hmm.
Her positions were decided by all the streamers, and her and I weren't talking. Or not like we do now. It's just we saw everything she's doing in the community.
Yeah.
And wanted to recognize it.
Mm-hmm.
But
yeah, because I remember when you came to, we had that chat.
Yep.
Me, you, and Jen. And you wanted to make her the community manager at that point.
Yep.
And Yeah. Even before producers, like you guys are still, I guess safe to say you guys are still learning about each other.
Well,
Talking,
we weren't talking at
starting
that
out
point.
as friends.
We weren't talking at that point.
Not even as friends?
Huh?
Like,
Mm-mm.
just shooting the shit?
Mm-mm.
Interesting.
Nope. It's just I noticed how much she was doing in the community, and I wanted to reward it and keep her because she was doing such a good job. She earned the spot.
Mm-hmm.
We weren't talking. So, yeah. If anyone ever's got in their head that she popped into spots because of a relationship with me, that you are so far from the
Completely
truth.
wrong.
Yeah, that it's not even funny.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Because, as a matter of fact, I believe
Well, that's a fact.
she was like the main channel editor and stuff like that before we were even talking. I mean, I think that started a few of the first conversations, and it was about the shows.
Mm-hmm.
It was that, and then But anyway, that's all for another stream. But whenever I come home, and I'm angry and I'm pissed off at it. But like I said, she says that she listens to everything I say. She reminds me that the feelings are valid, but they may not be the best ones to have. If there's some way to look at it differently, she tells me. She tends to be the calm in my storm. While I'm beating the fucking war drums, she's over there going, and that's who I'm looking to. I mean, the beat slows down a little bit. Don't say it stops, because it doesn't. But it slows down. Right? She knows what makes me laugh. She knows what makes me smile. And she makes sure I have those experiences every day. Do you not think it's worth that little piece of mind that you're just clutched onto to give someone the opportunity to be to you what Dana is to me?
You've seen the movie A Bronx Tale, right?
Yes, sir. It's one of my favorite movies.
Same here. I love that movie. Do you remember what Sonny tells C. Colosio
About the car?
women in life? No, not with the Mario test. And like how he corrects him about, don't listen to that idiot jabroni. No, not that test. No, when he was talking about women and how many a man gets in life. How men get they have 3 chances to, basically 3 perfect women, ever come across into a man's life. Sometimes it's all at once. Sometimes it's spread out. For myself, I believe the all at once point already came. That I had those chances. I burnt those bridges. So those opportunities they're done for me. I don't see a path forward, because like with the online dating, like I refuse to do that. I refuse to ever do that again, because that's how I ended up meeting my ex. So I don't want to I don't want to go insane doing the same thing I did before.
Okay.
You know what I mean? And so it's like the whole, like I said, for myself.
So you're taking your relationship advice from Sonny?
Kind of, sort of, because
that's
I do
mistake
believe in
number
that.
one.
You got, well, because a guy does get,
Okay, did you ever
come across 3 great women in their life.
Okay.
And for me, the way I see it is those ones came and gone.
Well,
And
you missed part of that story about the 3 great women, though.
What was that?
You don't know the rest of the Italian proverb. The three great women you'll meet in your life is your mama, your wife, and your daughter. There's more to that story than what they put in the Bronx Tale.
But the way they sum it up in the Bronx Tale is
Right, they sum it up differently, like where they can all come together and meet as one and be. But it's the parable's different. Do you remember the story though? The test with the car locks.
yes,
Okay.
I remember that one. Yeah, because lucky for him, he saved him from doing the Mario test.
Yeah. Yeah.
Should we tell him the Mario test?
Go ahead and tell him the Mario test.
What you got to do, ladies and gentlemen, to do the Mario test correctly is you got to pull up next to a semi, while you're driving, preferably, and you make sure you get into the view of the driver, and then you grab your woman's head and put it right down in your crotch. If she starts blowing you right there, even though that trucker could be watching you, she's a whore. And you throw her to the side of the road quick. But if she pulls away, you got to keep her. Forget about it.
Forget about it.
Yeah, you got to forget about it.
You can tell you ain't got that Italian blood in you.
No.
Forget about it. So no, but okay, the door lock test is you make sure both doors of your car's locked, the driver and the passenger, right? And this doesn't work on modern cars because you got the fob and everything locks. But the concept is you made sure she sees you put in that key, unlock it, you open the door for her, you let her in, you close the door. While you're walking around, you watch her. If she does not lean over and unlock your door, you kick her out of the fucking car.
Mm-hmm.
If she unlocks your door, she's a keeper. So, you don't want a chick to unlock your door?
I got a key fob. I gotta lock my own damn door.
Queen Dana says, I've got to catch up. Like I said, I'm sorry, the chat's on the back side of me. So, and let's see, and you end up pushing away the best, which is kind of what I've been telling you. It's funny how we think a lot alike, isn't it?
It is. It's dangerous. It's very dangerous.
Because it is now commonplace for, like every 5 minutes for us to say the same thing at the same time. It's getting spooky.
Yep.
Right?
It is. But it's fun.
And she said no, Caesar LOL. So I think she's talking about the Mario test.
Not the Mario test.
It's an actual
definitely.
thing.
And I can agree.
It's an actual thing.
Mm-hmm. It is. You don't. Yeah, I'm not a big fan of the Mario test. It's like, damn, I can get in a decent exposure.
Yeah.
That guy can radio it in.
Yeah, Channel 9.
Yep, no Mario test for me.
You got to quit listening to those boys. They're going to get you in trouble.
I think I get myself in trouble just fine.
Yeah.
Just the wacky things that I come up with on my own.
Lord, don't lead me in temptation. I know the way there myself.
Yep. Exactly. I'm my own Sherpa.
Yep. Oh. But back to this point. So the little things you don't think are worth it because it's a waste of time.
It becomes a waste of time because of the hurt. When you remember those things and they're gone, there's no, like, you may be able to recreate it in your head through the power of our imagination, but to actually continue that on or even expand upon it, do something new, that can hurt. That can hurt.
You talked about fear of failures. Well, I hate to be the one to go back to Dana, but Dana's what I've got now. She's the best experience I've ever had with these things. So she's the best.
Mm-hmm.
She's the best example. When I fail, or I believe I failed, she is always there to remind me of who I am, what I am, and who's standing beside me. So failures really aren't failures anymore, are they? So there has to be a point where, okay, so if you're sitting there and you're doing your best and something just doesn't happen the way it works, you're a guy, I'm a guy, I know how we take it. It's a failure. You fucked up. You know what? You weren't good enough, right?
Exactly.
That's what we think. That's exactly how we think. If it doesn't go the way we thought it was, it's because we weren't good enough. That's the way most men think.
Mm-hmm.
All right? But here's the thing. When you have someone telling you you are because you put everything into it, and that made you more than good enough, because now you're even closer, and you'll get even closer the next try. You're not failing anymore.
Excuse me.
I can hear you. I got to step away and let someone in, but I can hear you.
Okay. I understand that point of view, but I'm not optimistic as I once was. It's different for me now. I don't hold out for hope. I don't expect a miracle. I just do what I do to preserve what little I have left. What little sanity, what little rationality, whatever word you want to put in that place. You know, to preserve what little I have left. And I can agree with you, Dana, that yeah, when I sabotage and going into it expecting it not to work, I do end up pushing the best away. That's why I went with the whole A Bronx Tale, the story Sonny was talking about with Colosio. For me, I don't see that happening. I don't see that opportunity presenting itself. The times that I went out, and I'm not talking about just on live streams, just my everyday life when I go out. Things. I guess you can say when you lose so many times, you get tired of the game. You rather just move on and preserve what sanity you have left. Because what HaVoC said hit the nail right on the head. When, as men, when we fail, we believe we're not good enough. And as the failures started outmarking the successes, it's not that I'm not good enough. It's just that is not worth my time. It's not worth my attention. Not worth the effort. Because how can I put this? If I sabotage something that could have been the greatest thing in my life, then it really wasn't meant to be. And if it never happens, I don't have memories. And if I don't have memories that could cause pain and sorrow, missing, not necessarily the woman, but the times that we shared, I'd rather just cut all that out.
That's
My hope. Welcome back.
go ahead. You're fine. You cut out. You stopped for a second. I thought you were done.
Oh no, go ahead. Go ahead.
Well, I was just gonna say
Welcome
though that here's the thing though. That's life. Are you really going to let a little bit of fear and a little bit of peace of mind stop you from the greatest happiness you could ever possibly have?
Yes, because it's all I've done that.
Do you know
So
how
yes,
alien that is?
I do. But it's acceptance.
That's not acceptance. That's
Accept
avoidance.
it is for me. I'm accepting that I'm accepting that part in my life. What I whether purposefully, inadvertently, that I created for myself. And I don't know, to go back now, terrifying. To open myself up like that again. Put myself out there. Hmm. It's a horrifying prospect for me.
So you would rather loneliness?
With loneliness, it's simple. It's just you. You only got to deal with one person, yourself. The wants, the needs, all that. It's just yourself. And for me, that's simple. I can deal with that.
Hmm.
Guess you can say I just grown to accept that part in my life, and it, allows me to keep that door closed, ladies and gentlemen.
So you can really, because here's the truth. Happiness is one of the most fleeting things in life, right?
Hmm.
You can be as happy as you've ever been. One thing go wrong, and that's gone, at least for a little while, right?
Hmm.
So you're saying that the avoidance or acceptance, as you put it, and that little nugget of peace of mind, of sanity,
Hmm.
is worth letting what could potentially be the greatest happiness of your life slip away because the greatest happiness of your life required you to let go of those things.
Hmm. No, I gave it up because it's the cycle. Whether it's I'm going out with a woman, things don't work out, or even just on a date, or the simplest thing of like, asking a woman out on a date. All that just became in my mind, a burden because
Mm.
not to sound like a broken record, but rejection is a burden, that feeling. And to avoid it, to, be able to skip that, just really, for me, it's convenient, easier, safer. Because if I'm the one either, whether it's just ignoring, rejecting, whatever word you want to use, for
Mm-hmm.
myself at the end of the day, I still have me. I'm still, I'm still here doing my thing.
Mm.
I keep it simple. really simple. Because, like you said, I'm rejecting the possibility, not the certainty.
Well, there is no such thing as certainty, and anyone that ever speaks in certainty is a fool.
I
That's not
agree
me
with
saying
that.
that's a
There is
proverb.
nothing,
That's not mine.
there's nothing, there's nothing, guaranteed or certain in life.
Mm-hmm.
And when it comes to love and the uncertainty that can swirl around that, just not my cup of tea. Rather just, pour it down the drain, not deal with it. Accepting my avoidance of the situation. I like that.
So, if a woman come into your life, right,
hmm
and you sit there and you developed a friendship you're apparently comfortable with. You have one with Clementine, you have one with me, you have one with Dana, you have one with Jen, right?
hmm
You
hmm
develop a friendship, and then the friendship leads itself to be more. This is how most relationships happen, I believe. Right?
hmm
And then it's sitting there, and everything is just fits like a glove, right? And everything's perfect, and you're happy. And there's a point where all this happiness, and you can be comfortable in it, and they're comfortable in it. And then it's like, like I said, happiness becomes fleeting, right? Especially when it deals with someone else's and yours together. And they sit there and they say, take me now or lose me forever. You would lose it forever for that little piece of mind that causes misery, and that sanity which causes misery.
Yes.
I really don't know what to say about that one. So
Peace of mind isn't a
lose it all.
commodity that you can buy or sell. You know, once you have it, you have it, and if you lose it, you lose it. I'd rather keep it.
Do you lose it because someone walked away or hurt you in some way? Does that really cause
It did
peace
for
of
me.
mind?
It did for me because of the fleeting thoughts, the memories of the happier times, the funnier times.
Can I ask a question?
It
That might
Sure.
be too personal, and if it is too personal, tell me. You just be fuck off. Did you ever go see if maybe you suffered from depression at that point?
No.
Okay.
No, I try to avoid mental health facilities, psychiatrists, and therapists as much as possible.
Okay. I was just wondering.
Because
I was just wondering.
to me, they're like, I mean, it could be, very, very well could be.
Going through depression is a normal part of life. It's not that stigmatism to it is absolutely wrong. You can fall in depression easily and have good strong mental health and good mental health habits, and just something happens that throws you off enough, and it often causes what you're describing, though. That's why I asked if you'd ever seen it, because with depression,
I haven't
yeah,
ever went through anything like that.
yeah, with depression, you do lose things, especially if it's not treated. That's why I asked. And you can overcome depression without treatment. I'm not saying you've got to run to the doctor. It was just I was curious to try to understand more your situation.
Well, I get that. No offense taken or anything. It's just for me. I mean, I think it was like yeah, I think it was 2023.
Mm-hmm.
Like the whole movement, like, oh, it's good to have a therapist. I decided to try it out. I got one, and I remember asking, it's like like when they ask you, like, what do you hope to achieve from doing therapy and all this shit. It's like, I want you like to help me put tools in my toolbox, to where if I have an issue, a problem, I have a way to deal with it without having to resort to some kind of medication. Because if I'm gonna, get introduced to new addictions, I'd rather do that myself and not with the help of a doctor. So yeah, it's I mean, because what you say, I can admit, there is some validity to that. Very well could be, because I've never took the time to go to one of those
Mm-hmm.
and want to be honest, because it's like there's just
Yeah.
some things you don't want to tell those kind of therapists or psychologists, because it's like get you into more trouble than you want to get into.
Who
So yeah,
counsels
I
the
avoided those
counselor?
things.
I get it. I
Maybe
get
that's the
it.
secret.
I get it.
But yeah, and like I said, it always goes back to me because like after that relationship failed
Mm-hmm.
and I'm stuck with those memories, they can be a burden. They can hurt. It can, just instead of being a happy memory, like just like how you were talking about it earlier, just being able to like have that moment, even though the relationship may not have lasted as
Mm-hmm.
long as you would have liked it. For me, that's too much. That's become too much. I rather, like I said, there's memories I wish I could get rid of. Like even with the woman I had the slow motion thing with, with everything how it
Your
ended,
Kodak moment.
turned out, yeah, my Kodak moment. I'd rather delete that, erase it from my memory.
Mm.
It's a burden carrying that. It's a burden. It really is. I wouldn't wish it on anybody.
And this is the woman you said that you truly, truly loved.
I wanted to, yeah. Nothing ever worked out because, like I said,
Well,
if you guys like think I'm like controversial and crazy now, just imagine me when I was a teenager,
yeah.
young adult.
Z, thank you for the subscription. I appreciate it.
Thanks for subscribing. Welcome in.
Yeah. Well, like I said, I don't know what to think about that because, and I'm not invalidating your reasons. Okay, don't take it that way.
Mm-hmm.
It's just I can't wrap my head around the concept of I'll throw away everything that can make me happy because of something that makes me miserable. I can hold on to that.
Yeah, it's weird, isn't it? But that's what makes sense in my head. That's how I worked it out. Because maybe you and Dana are right. Like pushing away what could have been the best woman of my life. But we can't always get what we want, you know what I mean? There's just some people out there that have to live out the example for other people to witness,
Well,
so they don't make the same.
go ahead. I'm sorry.
Oh, no, I was just gonna say that there's some people out there that have to live out those crazy instances, like I guess with me and my line of thinking, to be an example for other people of what not to turn out to be.
Mm.
Life's a stage. We all have our part.
But the thing is your part doesn't always have to be miserable. Here's the thing. I'm going to step out on a limb. I think in your own little weird way, you believe you don't deserve happiness.
I've grown to think that, yes.
Mm.
Over the years, it really became cemented in my mind. And it's like, if in my mind, if that's the way it's going to be, then why put in the effort? Why want to spoil a woman with, you know, spoil her with the types of riches that, comes from the heart.
Hmm. The answer to that is because
Just,
it's rewarding to yourself, though. That's how you grow as an individual.
hmm But over the years, the risk and reward ratio just seems too out of balance for me. Seems really out of balance.
So as it gets more out of balance, the more time you spend pushing away, the harder it gets to pull towards.
Uh,
That's the willing you're. That's the odds you're playing.
hmm
Wow.
Yeah.
I mean, I respect it because everybody has a different opinion on how relationships are supposed to work and so forth. Like Dana, one of her main focuses is, live for the moment, for then and
hmm
enjoy what you have now. While mine is part of that, mine is also, I want to know there is a future.
That's what I wanted to.
Right.
That knowing, because I agree with you. There's nothing certain in life. Certainty is the last thing. But there is a certain comfort in knowing that the one that you're with has a similar goal. They share that goal with you. You know
Mm-hmm.
what I mean? Where it's
Right.
not just a one-sided thing.
Right. Well, the thing is you can have that. You're not. It seems like you're not giving it. You're using past relationships that had things that
hmm
you loved, but because you don't have them now, you would rather disassociate them. And then
Yes.
bad experiences on top of, so it's like, okay, I don't want to go out and find the individual that's in the moment with me now and is in the the eyes on the bigger picture in the future as well. You're not giving them enough time to get there.
Agreed. I can agree with that. It doesn't happen overnight. It takes time to get there.
Right.
But it I guess you can say I've lost interest in wanting to put in that time. You know,
Okay.
because if it doesn't work out, then in my mind, I'm not just a failure, but I wasted time that I could have been doing a million other things, but I chose to waste it on a woman who didn't. I don't want to say solely like not appreciate me, but respect me, appreciate whatever it is. You know what I mean? Like, to me, that
But
wasted time.
can't they love and appreciate and respect you and it just not be a romantic situation? Or it turns out that it's not one for them? If you love someone, right?
hmm
And they're not happy, the last thing you would want to do is hold them there. That is an awful, awful situation.
hmm
Okay? Because the only thing it's going to do is make you miserable and them miserable. You're just going to start
Yes.
hating each other, right?
hmm
So if you loved her and she had fallen out of love and wanted to move on, and you loved her, then it's thank you.
Yeah, for me, it all goes back to wasted time, wasted energy, wasted resources. Just like really, like you couldn't have done this like 2 weeks earlier. Like you chose now of all times. Like, gee, thanks. So you know, I just have that completely different approach from you, where, like you're saying, they decide to leave, and you're just like, thank you for the memories, thank you for your time. They were great, even though it's not working out anymore. To me, it's a waste of time, which means I have to get myself back out there. I have to find another interest. So I rather just avoid it all.
So what if your interest finds you? What? I'm not joking.
Oh,
What if something happens where,
that
like,
hap-
okay, you're
that happened once before. That
Okay.
happened once before.
okay. And did you do this? Oh, I don't want to take a risk with her.
No, I ignored her.
Let's
I acted like she never existed. And
so
instead
you.
of just taking the hint, oh, there's more. Trust me, there's more.
I imagine.
You want to hear this?
Okay.
You know,
I've got my popcorn. I'm
I go
sitting back.
I go for a walk in the morning.
Yeah. Story
Most
time with
mornings
Caesar.
I'm out for my walk. And at this particular time, there was a young lady out there walking her dog. Just walked by like nothing. Eventually, she started, walking on the same side of the street that I walk on, literally making sure she is in my line of sight,
Mm-hmm.
trying to talk to me. I walk past her every time like she never existed. Like if you're a ghost to me, non-existent. So she gets the bright idea to have dear old dad try to get my attention. I try to be a nice guy. I really do. So I passed along that common courtesy that I did to his daughter. I ignored him. He tries again. But this time, he's not out there walking, he's out there driving, going along my route, trying to find me. Tries to talk to me. I'm like, listen, fucko. You don't get the picture here? I walk past you like you're nothing. I walk past your daughter like she's nothing. Get the hint. I don't want to know you. Go fuck off. Even after that, ladies and gentlemen, cussing out her pappy like that. Her mommy comes out. I know. I was kind of, left ajar with that one myself. It's like, holy shit, like what's next? Fucking grandpa gonna come out? So mommy comes out. Same thing. Making sure same side of the street, that there's no way that I can avoid seeing her. Tries to stop me. I had some manners with her. I didn't, cuss her out like I did her husband. I'm like, listen, lady, I know what you're trying to do. I cussed your husband out. I ignore your daughter. Don't bother me. Go dry up somewhere, please. So yeah, I had that situation happen to me where she found me, and I made sure to burn that bridge. Because conveniently, I don't see her no more. I see none of them anymore.
So what did you prove?
That I was able to keep my composure and stick to my guns.
Yay, misery! What the hell? You stuck to your guns to avoid having something that you might want? What the fuck?
One man's misery is another man's tranquility.
But you are a human being. Loneliness causes this
Yes.
is that we have studies on this, right?
Yes, we do. I'm aware of
You-
those studies.
Right, and you have to train intensely. Like if you were to go to space, you have like 4 years of isolation training before you're allowed to do it, even though you're not going to be completely isolated, just on the chance that you might be for a week.
Mm-hmm.
And the reason they have all that, and they know even after all that training, the individual changes permanently. Their psyche becomes damaged. Loneliness is not a human condition. We are a pack animal.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
But there's those rare exceptions. You know, wolves are a pack animal too.
Mm-hmm.
But sometimes you can find that one lone wolf out there.
It still returns to its pack.
Well, they're rejected by the pack.
It'll find another pack, though.
Or
Lone wolves
it
don't stay
remains a
lone wolves.
wandering nomad.
Lone wolves don't stay lone wolves. They'll eventually find another pack. They're not wolves. Don't live on instinct in a way that's safe for them alone. It's like dogs. If you ever watch dogs lay down together, if they consider themselves packs, like in a house, they'll lay down back to back, head to butt. That way, there's teeth on both sides. Right?
Mm-hmm.
Wolves are the same way, and so are humans. You know, if when you lay down next to, okay, the most natural position sleeping next to a loved one is spooning. You know that, right?
Yes.
Okay. The big spoon. Thank you, SS, for the subscription. We appreciate it.
Welcome in. Thank you for subscribing.
Yeah. The big spoon is in a position of protection. They are protecting the little spoon.
Mm-hmm.
They are surrounding them. They're protecting the side that does not have eyes. The big spoon often wraps their arm around the little spoon. Maybe throws their leg over them. I don't know. Right?
Mm-hmm.
It's so that if there's any harm comes to their loved one, they take it first. Right? That's the natural process of two people sleeping in the same bed. You can start back to back, but you're almost guaranteed to end up spooned.
Spooning.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Even heterosexual males in the military that are left like where they're in sleeping bags will all turn facing one way through the night. There's something in our mind that kicks in that we are to protect something next to us. Because we're pack animals. We're not meant to be alone. But here's another thing. Women are considered at their weakest during their menstrual cycle, right? I'm not saying that is, but technically it an animal hunt, if you were, we're out of technology, I mean, we're living off the land and stuff like that. During their menstrual cycle puts them in danger because of the scent of blood. Right?
Mm-hmm.
Women, biology will start syncing with each other when they live together so that it makes less room for danger. We can think we're different. We can think we're special, but we're not. Everybody is drawn to be with other folks. If I set you in that room right now, there's some room in your house that would be away from everybody else there, right?
Yes.
And if I set you in that room and I said, you don't leave there for a week, you would go nuts. Inmates are not even allowed to be put on 24/7 lockdown. They've got to be let out 1 hour for every 24 or for every 23 they're in. They have to have guards talk to them every hour. There has to be some kind of interaction. You're human, bro.
My ego
You know,
would like to think that through the power of meditation, that I'll be able to survive that week alone.
you would. It's not in your. It's not biologically viable. You wouldn't. Even meditating, you wouldn't. You would crave the craving for contact. Here's the thing. I know you love your mom, right?
Yes.
You worry about your mom.
Yes.
That week where you couldn't see your mom, there you go.
It'd be like a vacation.
No, it wouldn't be. You bullshit.
I just throw that out there. I just throw that out there.
Yeah, I'm gonna call bullshit on it right there. You would come out a nervous wreck, right? It'd be like, the first thing you'd ask is, "Mom, okay?" And that would be shit. That's a decent son, right? That's what sons do. Mom, okay? Because fuck dad, right? But but God damn it, mom better be okay because dad better protected her ass. So
exactly
right,
and I get you with that.
That's why I'm saying
And yeah,
you may not be.
That would be hard.
Yeah, it may be a week that you go not talking to someone, but a week actually isolated. Meditation's not going to get you through, because if you meditate and you're worried about your mom, that's when it becomes dangerous to meditate, because what happens is your thoughts, just because you're streamlining excess thoughts out, the ones that are weighing heavy on your heart are intensified, because then it's just them. Which is good if you're not isolating yourself. If you're fixing problems, it's dealing with yourself. That's the hardest thing anybody ever does is they have to deal with themselves, right?
Yes.
You deal with yourselves on the decisions I'm making. Are they going to be good for me? Are they going to be bad in the long run? This all these things. Am I doing something that's self-sabotaging? Am I doing something that's hurtful to myself? Am I doing something that's hurtful to a loved one? You isolate those feelings in meditation to fix them. But while you're doing that, you don't isolate yourself, because then it's actually really dangerous. But like I'm saying, for lack of better words, Caesar, you're not special. I mean, you're special as a person, right? And I'm not saying special needs.
So, like, my ability to reject love is not a mutant power?
No. Because you're not. Because you're not rejecting it. You're just denying yourself. There's a difference in the two.
Really?
Yeah.
It can't just be me denying it.
Nope.
Damn.
Fuck, Caesar, you're like the rest of us. All that, all those delusions of grandeur are just getting popped like little bubbles left and right, aren't they?
Yes, they are.
Must
Stop
be a
it.
bitch.
It is. You know how long it takes to, to fill up those balloons with other thoughts and tales of grandeurs? Like, I can't write that on the fly.
Fuck it. I've got, this balloon I'm making, I am the Prince of Kakistan, punk.
Damn it.
How many stands?
Those bubbles.
How many countries with stand can you make up? Stand. Prince of that place too. That's my buddy over there. But no, like I said, you're special as a person. Everybody's special, right?
Yeah, but like you're saying with the situations, the
Right.
like my line of thinking, it doesn't. And I know that I agree with you. But like I said, that's just the line of thinking that I've gotten myself into, and pretty much became like a comfort zone.
Do you know what it's called, though?
What?
I'm going to give you the scientific terminology for that. It's called stinking thinking.
Stinking thinking.
Stinking thinking.
Interesting.
He's actually pondering it for a second.
I'm pondering it. I am. I'm pondering it.
I looked
because
over.
like
He's
something that might have came
sitting
out of Harvard.
there. He's sitting over there.
Yep.
Is that a thing? Yes, it is. It's a bad thought. It's a bad thought process. And here's the part that's that's an ego punch, okay? And it's not meant to be. It's bad thought, and you know it is.
Mm.
You know it's detrimental. And you convince yourself that it makes you special, unique, different, and stand out. The only thing it does is it causes you to deny who you are, what you are, and causes misery. Because self-awareness is what makes us humans. That's what separates us from every other animal. Is we're aware of ourselves. That's the one difference we have with every other animal in the animal kingdom is self-awareness. You know, you don't see a hippo out in Africa running around going, "Oh my God, I ain't got my tutu on," right?
Nope.
So, you know, but us, we'll go. You know, we walk out of the shower and there's someone we don't know. You know what I mean? Little cup, big cup, right? So, but we are what we are, and if you deny what you are, then you're living a fallacy and a fantasy and making yourself miserable while you're doing it. And then here's the other thing. Think about the person that you're supposed to be with. Denying them you hurts them. Because
she's over it.
bullshit.
She's over it.
Bullshit.
Guaranteed.
You haven't got over the girl from when you were in high school.
No, I'm saying, she's over me. She's not, hurt by my rejection anymore. I would hope not. Like, holy
Might
shit,
be.
if you're still bothered by that, honey.
Might be.
Don't say that.
Might be.
Put
You
that
don't
out
know.
there.
You don't know. You don't know. You don't know.
That's true.
You don't
but
know.
Don't put that out there.
You may have caused her to be a miserable fucker like you. You ever think of that? He's thinking.
That's the risk we take, ladies and gentlemen. You got to be careful who you choose to go after.
What if it's not her that you're meant to be with, and she did get over you, but someone that's coming along in your future, and because you've allowed yourself to settle in this mindset, you hurt her.
Sometimes in life, there's casualties in love. I can't help that. That's out of my pay grade, as some people like to say.
That's officer level shit, not enlisted. I got no next to my number. I work for a living, fucker. Yeah.
Well, that's just. No, that's just how I see it, though, bro. You know, just maybe have a little bit of higher standards. Don't think the bald male pattern baldness is cute, you know, because I could be a mean one. I will deny you the acknowledgement of your existence.
You know that there's so much bullshit behind that because if I deny you that you exist. Poof. You know, I never got that argument. You know, you don't acknowledge my existence. Well, you didn't disappear. You're still here.
Mm-hmm.
Poof away. Poof. Wouldn't that be great?
I think I tried that
like,
once, but it didn't.
It didn't
It
work.
would.
Just like, I deny your existence. You're not real. Poof. I've got list. The second we can do that, I've got a list. I'm poofing people left and right.
All in the mind. You got that.
I got to let him out the door.
You got to think of it.
I can hear you.
Ladies and gentlemen, what helps me with instances like that, like with what I just described earlier, is taking the Godfather approach. When Michael Corleone had to, kill the crooked cop and that other mob boss, and what the hell's his name? Clemenza. When Clemenza was telling him what to do, like after you shoot him. It's like, don't run out of there. You walk. Don't look away. You look forward. Don't worry about the people looking at you. Just walk right out of there. And that's kind of the approach I took. I just, kept on walking. Didn't turn my head. Didn't even throw a scowl. I just kept on walking. I mean, it helps to have music going on at the same time, so you can create a nice little head canon, like, oh, I just had my music up too loud that day. But from what HaVoC has been telling me, now there's some things that even I can't deny anymore. It could be a form of depression. It could be, me just stuck in such a rut that anything new, I just want to, immediately pick out the negativity to create an excuse for myself that validates my to validate my ability to just exit out of the situation, avoid it. That's what it does. There's like, yeah, relationship be nice, but I'm not, like I said, I'm not the age where I feel too damn old, too damn tired, smoke too damn much, set in my ways, and so no. Maybe the way I think, like, holding on to my what's left of my sanity could be my placebo to think everything's fine when it really isn't. But it's a risk I'm willing to take. Because like I said, life is a stage and we all have our part to play. And sometimes those parts that we play, they're ugly, painful, dehumanizing. But they're an important part of the show to give people that example of what not to become. How not to fall that far from grace to where you're gone.
Thank you, Peter, for the subscription.
Just,
Sorry.
Thanks for subscribing. Welcome in. Oh, no worries, man. Welcome back.
Here's the thing. He's full of
Surprised
shit.
you with that one.
He's full of
I
shit.
am not full of shit. I pooped.
He's full of
I
shit.
pooped, thank you.
He's full of shit. Your eyes are brown.
I can't help it. They're stained. Some shit stains are harder to get out than others.
I know. Mine are brown, too. Uh, what? You know what?
no,
Everybody
with
can
the
fuck off
bullshit.
with their little blue eye shit. Brown eyes are prettier. They are.
But no, you resoundingly called out bullshit. So let's hear it.
Bullshit. Bullshit. Life is not a stage. Bullshit. You're not an example for everyone else. Bullshit. You're making it. You're grandizing a state of misery and what seems like it may be a state of depression, bro. And I only say I'm not saying this to be the jackass here. I'm saying this because I
No,
want you to
understand.
be happy and healthy.
You're being a friend.
Right.
You're being a friend by doing this, and I understand that, appreciate and respect that. But no, it's I don't know. Even if it's just one person that sees, and they're able to take that. Like, let's say, like with that young lady
Mm-hmm.
that was trying to get my attention.
Mm-hmm.
Let's say there was somebody watching from their window. Like one of those people that just like to watch a life
People watchers.
roll by their window,
Mm-hmm.
and they seen my behavior, my lack of participation in that situation. It could inspire them to live a little. That's not a bad thing. We all have our examples. Like I said, our part to play. Could I be grandizing how I feel? Perhaps. But I'm a pretty emotionally broken, egotistical prick.
Okay.
So I like to,
I was gonna say.
pump it up a bit.
I was gonna say you can get more dramatic than a woman who's been on her menstrual cycle for a couple months. Solid.
Oh, you really gonna go there?
Yes.
You're gonna throw me out with the dirty tampons there,
Yeah.
bro?
Yeah.
Bro,
Dude.
you compare me
have
to
you-
a woman on a menstrual cycle for 3 months? Come on, you couldn't
have you
compare
dealt
me
with
to-
yourself? Have you dealt with yourself?
Yes, I have. It's a handful.
Yes, it is.
See, you agree.
Yeah,
We agree on that part.
You're a handful.
I am a
That's
handful.
right. I'm no better.
I'm like a big
I'm just
boob.
different.
We're like big boobs. We got to get a bra,
Mm.
so it keeps us secured.
Keeps our head together.
Exactly, because we don't want to be the type of heads that are sagging down to their knees, becoming knee warmers. No, if I'm going to be a boob, I want to stay a nice perky boob. Don't you? You don't want to be a flabby one where it's like you throw it over your shoulder.
Okay, boobs are boobs, and boobs are like pizza. Okay, even the worst pizza I've ever had was still pretty damn good. So
I like that analogy. And Queen Dana, I can't stop. It's like this level of I don't want to call it audacity. My grandiose behaviors like Pringles. Once I pop, I can't stop.
you watch, he'll use that later too.
Mm-hmm.
Like, something he likes. He goes, yeah, even the worst pizza I've ever ate was still pretty damn good.
Oh, you see me. I wrote that shit down, put it in my pocket. I gotta remember this shit for later.
It's one of those Jasonisms. We got to get that while it's hot.
Yeah, I gotta borrow it. I'm not gonna take it on a joyride or anything. Just a little ride around the block. I'll bring it back. Even with the full tank.
See if it
I'll
fits.
do the Hank Hill thing.
See if it fits, huh?
Not that it fits, but more of I gotta throw it out there.
It happens. It happens.
It does.
Well, Mr. Host, we're going on 3 hours.
Yeah, I just seen that. I just finally decided to take a look at the time.
Yeah, you missed your cutoff by
going
an
on
hour.
3. Yeah, but we're in such a deep conversation.
And didn't cover a fucking bit of what we were supposed to.
We got some of it out there, the good parts, like how spoiling. The best way to spoil your lady is by paying attention to what she says, the little things,
Mm-hmm.
and acting upon that.
And to
So
give
to
her,
where you
to give her the best
Go ahead.
life you possibly can.
mm-hmm.
Let her see you try. It's worth it. Because it's what men do. Like baking, like fixing cookies on a grill. Men do that.
I'm lazy. I got lazy over the years.
I've noticed. Well, I haven't noticed over the years,
just-
but I've noticed you get some things you are like, oh, fuck it. I'm not putting effort into that shit.
Exactly. You see it. You see it, bro. Damn.
Yeah, it's kind of one of those, oh, that's way too fucking much. Mm-mm. I got to move to do that. Fuck that shit.
In my instance, it's like I actually got to, pay attention and be creative.
Right.
It's like, then using lines, like it just drives me crazy.
But if you
Like,
put
using good lines.
yeah. But if you put high quality pot like 5 miles away, he'll go for a jog.
I'll speed walk. I don't
Or
have
drive.
quite the young lungs like I used to have, but I'll speed walk or drive. One of the two. Check it out. I am like I'm not just a connoisseur, but I'm kind of a Bogart when it comes to weed. Very picky.
Mm.
I look under, I don't have it here with me, but I do have a magnifying glass where I'm able to see the trichomes to make sure they're mature, nice amber color.
I have no idea what you just said.
And yeah, that might be a good place to end it right there.
It probably
I said
is.
something and you don't know what I'm talking about.
Right. I'm like, how the fuck am I supposed to answer that? Fucker trichomes. I know what tri-wash is at the car wash thing. It's that I call it unicorn poop. It's like the unicorn just shit on the car. The kids used to think that was funny. Do you have any idea what I'm talking about? It's like this conditioner that comes out, and it's like pink and light blue and yellow, and just goes all over the place.
All the colors of the rainbow.
Yeah,
it's like for the premium washes when you go through, like you're saying, the car washes at the gas station.
Yep. The thing is, well, and they'll put it at like the detailing shops too, except they put a cream on it. But when the kids were little and I'd go get just the car wash because I'm kind of picky about the cars, right? They go to the detailer, to Auto Butler, right? Once a month. But every week they go into the car wash. And when they were little, I'd be like, oh no, a unicorn just shit on the car. And I'm paying that wash it. And they thought it was hilarious. Goose still does it. Like he'll be in the car and the tri-coat go over it because now he takes them to go wash them and stuff like that. So I don't have to all the time, like all of them. And he's like, because Pan asked me, she goes, what is this unicorn shit thing about car washes that he's fixated on? And I was like, oh, he's telling you about the tricolor or the tricore, whatever it is. Like I said, it's supposed to condition the top coat to fix it for the wax, so the wax will absorb it better. But yeah, it's unicorn shit. Unicorn shit makes the wax stick better. And that's
You
how
heard it
I
here first,
entertain
ladies and
my.
gentlemen.
That's right, and that's how I entertain myself, folks. That's why people don't like to be around me very much.
No, I like that right there. Probably because of the standards or practices. I'll have to tell you after the show, like what I think when I go into a car wash.
Oh no.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it might give you a very beautiful, vivid tale.
Mm.
A tale of suspense and horror.
Completely off the subject because this is our thing. Have you ever been to a car wash that has a dog wash there too?
No, they got those.
Yes, it's a little conveyor belt. You put some money in there. There's a little conveyor belt, and your leash slides out of it, right? And it's not long, but it'll just move a little bit. Then it washes the dog, it sprays it, and it's real gentle, right? Like mine love it. Like if I come at them with a water hose, we're having a fight, right? Because you've declared war on Pitbulldania or whatever, right? Because you got that fucking water hose, okay? And you're like, and I've got little perfume for my girls, right? It's dog perfume. Believe it or not, they make that stuff. And I've got it. They look at that and go, I don't stink. Motherfucker, you saying I stink? Because if you're saying I stink, we fighting. Get that shit away from me. But then after they get sprayed on, because then I want to cuddle them because they smell good. It's like, smell me, smell me. Dogs are weird. But anyway, you put them on the little conveyor belt, and this guy's a place to put their leash in, and you just kind of, it's maybe like 5 foot long, right? And it's real gentle. They love that. But yeah, it's like a car wash.
That is gnarly. That is gnarly.
Wash, and it's got
The dog
a
on the
blow
conveyor
dryer.
belt.
It's got a blow dryer at the end too, like your car
That's
blow
fancy.
dryer, but not Wash your dog. Wash your car. Then let your wet dog get in your clean car that you just washed out and sprayed with air freshener and all this other shit. And I'll tell you what, here's the thing. Wet pit bull smell will override even the most expensive shit from Bath and Body Works for your car.
Damn. That's strong, huh?
Mm-hmm.
Gnarly.
Go in there and buy a $20 fucking air freshener thinking, okay, well, it's just wet pit bull, right? Nope, that wet pit bull smell is going to stay in there for 2 days because that air freshener will give out first. Yeah.
Gnarly.
The experiences and stories I have. Okay, anyway.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, since he's the host, I get to sign off first. If you aren't making bad decisions, then you aren't making good decisions either. Let's see. Since this is my first time on Roses, like as an actual guest, instead of just interrupting you two, gotta think of something clever. Dana, thank you for making sure that I didn't end up like this miserable fucker.
Took the words right out of my mouth. Get out of my head!
I'm done. It's all you.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for joining us for. I really can't call it dynamic. This is a pretty revealing episode of yours truly, Caesar. So, thank you for joining us. Listening to the madness that makes me who I am, the method to it. If you haven't already, hit the like and subscribe button, please do. And after you hit that notification bell, jump down into the description tab, please. Click on the Discord, huh? Join us there, because you won't believe some of the crazy shit that we just can talk about in VC. We're just hanging out there, shooting the shit. People could pop in, join us hosts to talk. Like, if I got a hot take, you want to, berate me about it, I'm there. I might, get distracted, start playing a game, pop open a cold one, but I'll be there. But definitely join the Discord. And with that, ladies and gentlemen, again, thank you for joining us. And until then, I'll see you when I look at you.
And he'll look at you after you go to the description and find the link for the Gamers Asylum Arcade and click that and subscribe there as well. Yeah. Yeah. That's the way it works. Night. Okay, we're clear. I got the outro on. Hmm? Oh, I thought you. Oh, I thought you were talking to me about taking the headphones off.
As you say, it always closes every story, same old end. But I still believe in beginnings. Red flags and roses, you call it all hypnosis. But you're here week after week. Guess you're still hoping for something sweet. 12-hour screen fading slow. Caesar says goodnight in a softer tone. Clementine smiles, see